All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been let me see here. It's been well over a month since this shit dropped, okay? The new Geese album, Getting Killed. And I didn't listen to it when it first dropped for some reason. I don't know why, I just didn't get around to it. I've been delaying it and delaying it and delaying it and delaying it. And everyone was hounding me at getting to it, and I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll give in. I was meant to be doing a request stream today, but shit happened. I don't want to talk about it. And yeah, we're doing the Geese album instead. I'm very excited about this, okay? I absolutely adore 3D Country. I think that album is one of the most fun, memorable rock albums of the decade so far. Cameron Winter is an incredible vocalist and writer. The band just have such a great country rock sound mixed with like some of the most blaring heaviness and the wildest, craziest lyrical content. I think that they are just one of the most interesting bands going right now, one of the most fun and fascinating bands to follow along with their trajectory right now. So I'm going into this with pretty sky-high expectations. This album is well received across the board with an 85 user score, number 6 of the year in terms of user score on Album of the Year so far. Fantano loves this shit. Everyone I follow loves this shit on Album of the Year. I have seen nothing but glaze for this. Now, in terms of the singles, I enjoyed Taxes. I've heard the song Getting Killed. I forget if that was a single or just one I was sent in on stream, but I enjoyed that song too. I didn't like Trinidad when I heard it. I thought that track was incredibly boring. But I'm going into this having not heard the track since it dropped as a single. I'm going into this with a fresh listen. And you know what? I have pretty high hopes that it will hopefully grow on me. This album is 11 tracks, 45 minutes. Let's do this. Track 1, Trinidad.
I tried.
Still does nothing for me. Still does absolutely nothing for me. This feels very shocking for the sake of shocking. It feels like the equivalent of just suddenly jumping at the listener's face to try and be like, whoa. You know, it feels like it's be like, look how shocking, look how crazy this is. We're shouting there's a bomb in my car. Look at this. I still just get that exact same feeling from this. It's incredibly forced. I really actively am disliking this song so far. This is what 3D Country was able to do and have it feel so natural. This feels like it's really, really, really forcing, and it isn't coming across anywhere near as strong. Say the intro sounded a bit like Neil Young, but then the chorus hit. Yeah.
They stood me in. My son is in bed. When that light turns red, I'm driving away.
No, it's trying so hard. It's very forced. And the fact that the production here is as harsh as it is, it's just not even like a pleasant track to listen to. I'm in too bad of a mood. I've actually been in a decent mood today. I just genuinely don't like this song. This track is pretty shit. I really, really don't like this song. I think this track is so forced. All of the shocking imagery and shit is just being fucking crammed into this track. It feels like, you know, plenty of songs on 3D Country were able to just do so naturally, have the songs flow so beautifully, and have these shocking moments come as like genuine, holy shit, that was crazy. This just kind of feels like it's like, whoa, look at what we're doing. Hey, look, shocking imagery in your face. That's enough, right? And no, it isn't. This song does not work a single fucking bit for me. I do not enjoy a moment of this track. I think the slow verses are tedious. That explosive chorus mixed with how harsh with this fucking production is simply just rough. It just sounds rough and unpleasant. It's like shrunk on me even further beyond when I first heard it. I would give that song a high 3. I do not like Trinidad in the slightest, and I don't know why this is here. I really don't know why this is here. Cobra. Allegedly it only goes downhill from here. We'll see. I hope it doesn't.
Let me dance away forever and ever, yeah, baby.
love how just sweet this is, this entire track. I don't know, there's something so loving and caring about this. Seem more engaged now, but this song's good. I don't know how well this would have worked as an opener. This doesn't feel like an introductory moment. But no, I really enjoyed this track, yeah. This song is so damn sweet. Great transition into Husbands, by the way. This song is so damn sweet. It's just delightful, warm. There's something just so loving and this song kind of has like a nurturing quality. It just feels like a beautiful description of a relationship almost, you know, just a feeling of comfort. I don't know, just a general feeling of love. It's not like the most deep track in the fucking Geese discography. This song is very simple. It's just got some nice clean guitar tones. I think that the bass sounds fantastic. Cameron Winter's providing a very passionate vocal performance here. It's solid. It's a good track. Hi. Good shit. Yeah, Cobra is a huge step up from Trinidad, and I'm hoping that the album can keep itself in this direction. Up next we have Husbands.
I'll repeat what I say.
Yeah, that track definitely feels more like a follow-up, more so than an intro, I agree.
You don't have to waste your time, but I will. Well, it was your hair clean when your husband's all died.
God damn, I love how raw this is. 3D Country was, I don't know, a lot bigger and a lot cleaner. I really appreciate the fact that they're going for something way more raw and stripped back on this album so far. The song's dragging a little bit. Seems a bit too divorced dad coded. Yeah. Husbands is a lovely track. It drags. I will get my first complaint out of the way immediately, is that this song definitely drags. Does not need to be as long as it is at all. I feel like the song could have been cut down by like a minute or so and would have flowed a lot smoother and a lot cleaner. But besides that, the song is lovely. Some absolutely incredible vocal harmonies with the layered vocals from Cameron Winter there. I think that the instrumental of the track, just being as stripped back and as simplistic as it is, allows that song to just, I don't know, have such a quaint, kind of almost homespun feeling. It feels like the entire track is trying to be as small as possible whilst putting out the biggest emotions possible, and I think for the most part it really succeeds. This album's surprisingly simple so far. Like 3D Country is a wild album, and then this is so... yeah, it kind of sounded emotionally exhausted. This is just so simple and stripped back, which is kind of an interesting direction to take following 3D Country, and not what I expected this album to sound like on the whole at all. This song's a low 8 for me. Next we have the title track, Getting Killed. I have heard this song and I don't remember it. See, now we got something a little more immediate. Jesus. Oh man.
Walk me out of here with no shoes. I can't even hear myself.
I really love Cameron Winter's vocals. They're so strange, but they stand out, you know? And I think they stand out in a positive way. Okay, so we've kind of got a 12/8 thing going on here. You can count it as 3 bars of 4, but it feels more like, to me that feels like 12 because it's, I don't know, something incomplete about it if you count it as 4. It's the best song so far, and it's not even close. That is a solid 9 right there. Holy shit, what a ride of a song. Firstly, obviously, the structure of this track is really impressive. I think that switch up is such a fascinating direction to take this track down, going from this very simple 4/4 track that has a little bit more drive, a little bit more immediacy than the previous songs, but still is keeping it quite simplistic. And then it just goes into this 12/8 percussive breakdown where Cameron Winter really is providing some of his most beautiful vocals I've heard on any Geese song, honestly. I think that this track is really showing the band displaying their strengths in a completely different context to how they would on 3D Country, where this is so minimalist, where this is so stripped back. It still has the fun production details, obviously, like he's saying, I'm screaming as loud as I can't hear myself over everyone else in the world. Yeah, I'm trying to talk over everyone else in the world, and then these backing vocals are like super loud. It feels like there's literally hundreds of takes of backing vocals going on top of each other. You know, fun little production tricks like that, but still, for the most part, this is a great, like, more minimalist approach than 3D Country, and I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, solid 9 on this track. Good shit. Very good shit. Best song so far. Islands of Men.
Peace of mind.
Album would have been better if they had an AI-generated cover. True.
You can't keep running away from what is real. You have seen islands of men sinking.
I love how fucking prominent that bass is in the mix. It's so good. The way it keeps just cutting through like that sounds incredible.
Stop running away.
Oh. Yeah, despite the mix not being the biggest or the loudest, they're still working in great individual instrumental elements. Good shit, man. Islands of Men, another pretty fantastic cut here. Low 9 for me. Yeah, a pretty beautiful, incredibly heartfelt track that, I don't know, just kind of has that very comforting feeling of someone like just sitting beside you, fucking putting their hand on your shoulder and telling you it's gonna be okay. That's the overall feeling I get from this track. It's just so friendly, something so inviting and very disarming about this track. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for, disarming. Yeah, this whole song is just so pleasant. I was a little worried about the sound palette of this album, you know, knowing that it wasn't going to be quite as immediate as 3D Country. I was worried that the band were going to get stuck in just repeating themselves and having these instrumentals be too skeletal and not really build into any interesting progressions. But no, they've done a good job at keeping the instrumental palette varied. All of these tracks have great, fascinating percussion. They have really good builds. I think that the overall structures of these songs also allow them to do some pretty interesting shit in like the directions they take the songs, and just the writing as well from Cameron Winter is as good as 3D Country, in my opinion. This album it's impressing me so far. I will say I was, again, worried going into this a little bit. You know, I had like high expectations, but there was also that fear in my head where I was like, what if it sucks? What if it's ass? But no, it's actually peak. 100 Horses.
All people must smile.
So much weird percussive shit throughout this. Like, they've had lots of random hand drums and weird tom sounds and shit like that. I have no idea what this song's about lyrically, though. These lyrics are really confusing me. It's about horses. Oh, it just cuts off like that, huh? Song's solid. It's a solid to high 7 for me. I think the instrumental slaps. I think that the nice kind of bouncy feel that this song has is really intoxicating, but I don't know, the lyrical content of this track was just confusing and, to be honest, flat out uninteresting. And I also think that this song is paced a little weirdly. A lot of these sections feel like we're just kind of like floating, like the song can't quite find its footing, and then it kind of does, and then it kind of loses it again. I don't know. This track just kind of feels a little like rocky at points. It's still good. I still think that Cameron Winter's vocals here are fantastic. Again, this instrumental is solid as hell. I just think that pacing wise and structurally, and also in terms of the writing, this track does falter a bit at points, and it can be a little like, is the song losing itself? Is the song losing itself? And then eventually it catches itself, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. Good, but not great. Half Real. Song's pretty, just feels a little directionless. I don't like the sudden cut-offs that some of the songs have had. It really does kill the final moments of some of these tracks. Like, I get the choice. I do understand why they're doing that, to just kind of have these moments of being snapped out of your emotions or whatever. But they do make for pretty weak finishes to these songs. I also think that this track is a little directionless, even if it is very pretty. I love what the guitars are doing all the way throughout this track. Those riffs, fucking chef's kiss. I absolutely fucking adored all of the instrumental choices here. But lyrically, and again structurally, this track just feels so directionless. It feels like this song doesn't quite know where to go, and it just kind of exists in a space, you know? There's no real sense of forward momentum or progression with this track. We just kind of go forward, stop, go to the side, stop. Like, it feels like this track isn't moving in any particular direction, and is more just kind of floating in its own space and not really moving. And that's kind of been a feeling I've gotten a little bit with a lot of the songs on the album, and I've thought that's maybe just been me, I don't know, just having a weird listen with the album and needing a re-listen, like unbroken, for me to fully get it. I'm really starting to feel it with these past two tracks, where the songs don't feel like they're moving in any particular direction that makes all that much sense. I'm very confused by the progression of some of these tracks, but besides like the two that I gave 9s, I'm a little confused by how these songs are being put together. So on a low 7. However the fuck you say that, I see the word cocaine. Yeah, I think it is too. I definitely think it's intentional, yeah. I just don't know if I like the choice. Okay, do cocaine. Okay. So I couldn't quite figure out that section. It was weird. Sounded like 4/4 with strangely placed bars and accents. I don't know. Song was fucking fantastic. Wow. Probably the strongest, honestly. 9.6. That song was... Oh, it was so good. The song was so fucking good. It was so pleasant. There's something about that track that just felt like being on a beach. You know, it's just felt like listening to the waves crashing, felt like just that feeling of being in the sun, just pure relaxation. Now, I'm saying that as someone who doesn't like the beach all that much, but it feels like what the beach is meant to be, you know? This song, the writing is fucking incredible. It's such a heartfelt track. This is one of the easiest songs I feel like to actually connect to and put a spin on lyrically. There's been a couple tracks in here that I've not really gotten what they're trying to say. This song is just clear. It's blunt. There's something about this track that just feels so fucking like just beaten down and so disheartened, even though the instrumental is as soft, as sweet, and as serene as it is. UK beaches are pretty shocking. Beaches in general, even beaches in other countries. I just fucking hate the beach. Get sand in my toes, get sand all over me. If I go in the water, it's fucking freezing and dirty. I always get fucking sunburnt. I hate the beach. I absolutely fucking hate the beach. Anyway, next track we have Bow Down. Oh shit. Huh. Weird way to end that song. That was pretty great. That was pretty great. 9.3. Yeah, that song was fucking fantastic. That instrumental drop at the end there was great. Percussive breakdown sounded fantastic. Those backing vocals from Cameron Winter gave it this kind of manic, batshit quality that I really appreciated. This in the entire song being a build up to that moment. I think does a great job at that. It still is engaging all the way throughout. Every single section does feel rewarding, and the payoff to that build up is just fucking insane. Probably the most fascinating moment on the whole album up to this point. That song just felt so much like an outlier here. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking speak today. Yeah, that song felt so much like an outlier here structurally in terms of the way it went through, firstly putting across its emotions and also how it built to that explosion at the end, even though it wasn't the most explosive. Yeah, Bow Down's one of the most interesting songs on the whole album. It's very weird, but I absolutely fucking adored it. That was a great track. Next we have Taxes. I have heard this song, and it's pretty good.
Have to nail me down.
Graduating slideshow on music. The worst part is I can actually see that. Song's grown on me. Wow. Album context allows this track to seriously flourish. That nice stripped back first half that sees it kind of getting a little more moody, kind of sees it getting a little more down and depressed, and then it just goes into that beautiful, more open section. I do agree that it feels kind of 2000s in the back half there with like that riffing with how bright it is. Kind of has an almost like, I don't know, some of the brightness of maybe, I'm trying to think of like a specific example. You should think of like an old Arctic Monkeys song or something. I think that song does such a great job at balancing two very different tones and having the track completely transform itself into something else in the back half while still staying consistent, while still being absolutely fantastically paced. These two sections both feel like they're given just enough time to be fleshed out, just enough time to fully immerse you in them. And when it does that big switch up, it's so surprising, but such a genuinely pleasant surprise as well. I loved that fucking song. It's grown on me a decent bit. Low 9. Didn't sound AM. I meant more specifically in like the brightness. Not that it sounded like an Arctic Monkeys track necessarily. A lot of on the first album, it had like a lot of moodier sections that would go into very bright open parts like that, and it kind of reminded me a little bit structurally of that. Long Island City, Here I Come. Final song.
Nobody knows. Enjoy.
A little bit of a folky flavor, yeah. Particularly with the drums. Been lots of weird drums throughout this that have felt kind of folk inspired.
He'll probably forget he's met you before. Oh, Charles.
Oh, damn. Okay. That bass line is fucking gas, dude. Oh my god. Fucking hell. Man, this song's relentless.
So I say, watch out, Long Island City. Here I come. I'm going. Here I
What? Okay, again, the cutoff kind of dog shit. Okay, the cutoffs across this album at the end of the tracks have been pretty ass. That means this song is a 0, ladies and gentlemen. Worst song on the whole album. Terrible. Awful way to end the album. Feeling a low 2 on this album. I'm joking. Song's pretty good. I am feeling a low 9 on that track. I just realized the final songs have gotten all low 9s in a row. I'd say low to solid 9. I'd say this song probably is a minor step above the previous 2, just because I think it does such a great job at being conclusive, because it does such a great job at being just such a great example of the band doing something a little more expansive, something a little grander, clocking in obviously at fucking 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, and it's just so well paced. I think the song is perfectly structured. I think that this track goes through so many fascinating phases and switch ups, with one of Cameron Winter's best vocal performances as well. That fucking breakdown, dude, as this track builds and builds and builds and reaches these gargantuan heights and climaxes, it really does feel like such a satisfying full circle moment for the album to reach. And I'm glad that they were able to end this album with as strong of a note as they did. This thing is just such an immense, truly gripping track, and I think that it, I don't know, maybe recontextualizes some things about how weirdly this album is structured, because I feel like this song does some similar things but works a lot better, and maybe re-listening to the entire album with that context could maybe make some of the songs I wasn't as crazy on grow on me. But yeah, it's a great closer. I think that this song does a great job at wrapping everything up. Fantastic bass line through, the bass in general is the MVP of this song. Great bass lines across the board. Again, Cameron Winter's vocals here fucking soar. I think that the imagery and the storytelling on this track as well is just fucking spotless. Good shit. Very good shit. You'll say it's not 3 years now, but it's light years beyond everyone else right now. I will say this album definitely is not as good as 3D Country. Not even close. 3D Country wipes, okay? But this album's still pretty good. I think that this is a great, more simplistic release than 3D Country. It's a lot rawer. A lot of these song structures are way more abstract. They're playing with a lot simpler sounds here and trying to have something that's a little more mood-based, something that is a little more emotion-based than 3D Country was. And I think that they do it well. I think that this album, across the board, stays pretty gripping, stays pretty thrilling, even on my least favorite moments besides the opener. I don't think the album ever gets, like, too far off the beaten path. I don't think the album ever gets like flat out unlistenable or anything like that. I think that the album stays consistently good, if not great or even near perfect. Every single one of these songs except Trinidad are just great explorations in the band doing something more simple, in the band doing something that is way more focused on the emotion and kind of trying to create more of a personal feeling than 3D Country did. And while I do definitely prefer the crazy, bombastic, batshit nature of 3D Country, that doesn't mean I think that this album is like bad by comparison. I still do think this album is for the most part a collection of great alt-rock, folk-influenced cuts that all bring some different shade of weirdness to the table that I was eating up the entire way throughout. This album is strange in similar ways to 3D Country. Of course, you have Cameron Winter's weird vocal inflections, a lot of the super out there, goofy lyricism that kind of is presenting these emotions in a way that is so just fucking weird and strange, but also gives it like a nice, almost like silly, satirical feel at points. And, well, not necessarily satirical, but a nice, silly, tongue-in-cheek feel at points, even if a lot of these songs can get quite dark emotionally, can get quite honest and open. I like that they still keep some of that charm, some of that quirk, at the bare minimum, a little bit on every single one of these songs. It's a good album. It's a good album. It's not perfect. I think there are a couple warts here. I think some of these songs do definitely feel very directionless. I think Trinidad fucking sucks. Song should not be the opener to this album. I don't even know why it's on the album. I'm surprised that that song even was released. That song is shocking. And yeah, some of the songs can feel a little directionless. Some of the pacing on this album is way out of whack. And a couple of these tracks can just feel a little too abstract in their structure and stuff like that, to the point where it can kind of be a little confusing. Like, wait, what's going on? Where are we in the song? What the fuck is happening right now? But besides that, it's a great album. I'm going to run the numbers and I will tell you what my overall score for this album is. Sounds about right. I am feeling an 8.3 out of 10 on this album, ladies and gentlemen. An 8.3. It's a great album. Is it in like my fucking top 10 of the year? No. Is it as good as 3D Country? No. But it's a great album. It's another great release from Geese, and is another one that proves that they are one of the most interesting bands going right now, a band that we should absolutely be paying attention to, and one that I'm very excited to see where they go in the future with their sound. The score without Trinidad, let me see, an 8.5 out of 10 is what you get without Trinidad included. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below and how it compares to other Geese albums for you. How does it compare to other releases this year for you? Is it in your top 10, top 20, or do you think it's overrated and trash? Make sure you like and sub if you haven't. We are on our way to 4K. Links in the description to my Discord, my album of the year, my Twitter, and my other channels. Check those out if you haven't. And yeah, I will see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Bye-bye.